Hello and welcome to the DFS underscore PhD show for today, the 4th of November. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us. So close again. Can't really complain about the run out this time, except for all those Yosivas kind of missed catches. I don't know if you can see that on this team, but if Yosivas gets 10 additional points, catches one of those catches that he did not catch, I take down the mini max. So I was top 20. It was fine. It's good. A lot of these plays were chalk. A lot of them were guys I was just slamming independently. Okay, so that was fun. Remember, we're sponsored by Prediction Strike. You can use promo code PhD to get their best deposit match bonus. But we got to move quickly. We've got both football and basketball, and I'm doing this a little earlier than usual, so I got to take my kid to school at the end of it. But that also means maybe I've prepped the show better than usual. Who knows? I do have stuff to say though about both slates. I'm gonna leave FanDuel basketball out of it because it's the lowest payout of all of it and the most crap. And I'm not gonna even constrain it. I'm just gonna let SaberSim take most of it. I'm gonna put my regular rules for teams and stuff, but I'm not gonna go as in depth as I am with DraftKings, even for myself. It's only $15,000. Who cares? Okay, so for the football slate, I have two rules that will determine whether or not I win money today. It's all Tampa Bay. I don't know, Kansas City's kind of more well settled at this point, but we just had the injuries right to Mike Evans and Godwin, and we're still cycling through whether even McMillan and Bucky Irving, or I think we even have another questionable tag, Sterling Shepard, which I did not have even in the pool here. It's a fine contrarian captain play if you want to, I should probably click him in there if I've got Worthy in there below him. I mean, yeah, I guess Noah Gray is a little speculative. Might unclick that. But based on those two rules, you can see my projections are different. I've changed every single player's projection. How did I do that? Well, I don't think Tampa Bay should be 10-point dogs. I just think they should be like 3-point dogs. I think Kansas City's massively overrated right now. And in particular, their defense not that great and Mahomes not that great. I think both sides are just not that great, but I didn't take KC's offense down any pegs at all. Because mostly and I'm a little surprised that bringing Tampa Bay up hurt Kareem Hunt a little bit. That's not really my intent. I like Kareem Hunt as a play, so I might manually adjust him back up. But anyway, so beyond that, I have the other rule, which is max one or two rules. Tampa Bay running backs, we're kind of splitting the baby again based on game script, right? Rashad White gets most of the passing, but if by some miracle Tampa Bay has the lead, Bucky Irving smashes. It's not one or the other of them. They love to run Bucky Irving into people and over people. Same thing with with the wide receiver room. We don't have confidence in what's going on here. And if you do, you're pretending. So Raheem Jarrett came in when we had the injury last week, but it's kind of in the mix because we don't know how injured these guys are. Even if they do play, he could come in for an injury pretty reasonably halfway through the game and be value again. He's not great value. I'm not getting a ton of him, but it's viable. And basically, we need two wide receivers out there because we understand Cade Otton, good value. I get it. But when I looked at it today, this morning, I was like, there's no wide receivers on this team at all. It's all Cade Otton. I mean, like he's a good play. Is he the only play on this team? No, we got these other guys. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the wide receivers for Tampa Bay, and when Cade Otton falls in the end zone twice, I'm going to feel real bad. But it's a very easy win condition. One wide receiver catches like a long pass. They're going to be down. They'll be throwing the ball the whole game. I don't know. That's the condition for me. I always like to be could win until I don't win. So that's a great condition for that. Getting to a lot of McMillan. Did I ROI sort these? Yeah. Just making sure. Got to ROI sort if you're paying for it. Captain wise, let's start at captain. Jalen McMillan. I won't go more than 5x the field, but yes, absolutely best play on the slate for me. Baker, I allowed him in the captain because his ownership was 8%. I'm not allowing the highest owned play of the slate, 22% captain Patrick Mahomes. If we get him Mahomes rushing touchdown tonight, you know I am upset somewhere. He is 10, 12% optimal long term in this game. And if you're going to pay that much through the nose for him, you should be punished. And I don't think people will be. It's not even the right game script for him to go nuts, right? It's the right game script for Kareem to go nuts. Speaking, you know what? I say that. I'm very convinced of that. I want Kareem lineups. He is going to smash. So I want a minimum amount of Kareem lineups tonight. Okay, so beyond that I've required Kareem captain lineups because it's not like he's going to go off a little bit. Kareem could go for like 3 touchdowns on a mega smash. You know what I mean? Like if it gets out of hand, it gets way out of hand. And like it could be 40 to 25. You know what I mean? And it's a bunch of Kareem touchdowns in garbage time. I mean, they probably start spreading them around in that case, but Carson Steele did fumble, so he's not going to get in the game that fast. But the rest of this is fine. I'm covering the Bucky Irving, Rashad White. I think both of them you want captain too. 5% Rashad White. Uh, I'm pretty they're gonna be throwing a lot of screens. They're gonna be throwing a lot of screens. I mean, how many do we even have him projected for? 6 catches? Is that about right? Oh, 4 catches. I would think it's more like 5 or 6. He's gonna be peppered because Bucky Irving? No, no, no. 2.5. Is that right? Uh, Tampa Bay snap counts. I just didn't think Bucky Irving was getting work in the receiving game. Bump, bump, bump. Gotta double check that. Whoa, okay. Even split in the receiving game. My bad. That's a past week thing only. So, okay. Less convinced about them as a fork now, but still think they're both great plays. I guess they are a fork because just one of them could be back there, right? So, I'm still going to stick with the fork. It's not really a game script fork, though. Okay, Trey Palmer, not so all these wide receivers for Tampa Bay were just wildly underprojected. Trey Palmer was out there the second most of all of the wide receivers, so he should have the second highest projection. And I think I got him as the best play on the slate. Yeah, he's the best value on the slate. McMillan's the best, you know, probably value weighted projection, whatever. Okay, so that's why I'm going on DraftKings. Looks like I'm getting to a lot of Baker and Patrick Mahomes again. Not as much Patrick Mahomes as yeah, okay. I'm fine with being light on Patrick Mahomes because why would I be heavy on Patrick Mahomes in a game where they're not going to throw the ball at all? That's fine with me. So yeah, I'm at 117%, so 17% double quarterbacks. And you can see my salary range is crazy. I'm going to go for like the top prize almost alone tonight because I have 2 rules. Anytime you got like something that sets you apart where you think Vegas is considerably wrong, number one, prepare for pain because it is always ending in pain. Vegas has a lot more money on the line than you do, but you got to represent your interests and you got to represent your leans. And so, um, yeah, that's where I'll be tonight and prepared for pain and prepare. And but I limit my salary. That was where that point was going. I have a low end of 42.5 and a high end of 49. I want to be all alone at the top tonight because my leans are crazy. I got crazy leans. Okay. Now that's not true on FanDuel. We're gonna do a little FanDuel aside because I won 3 tickets last week, so I got to pay attention to this for 1 second. Probably don't need 20 lineups to fill my three. I got 3 contests here, guys. Let's get more reasonable. Pretty sure we're gonna do. Oh, I guess if it's just 3 lineups, I probably shouldn't talk about too much. But it's the same. I did the same rules. Same thing on FanDuel. I guess MVP. Get one MVP, and his name's Bucky Irving. That's a little much. I want to be 100% Bucky Irving. You know what? I don't want to be more than one of my lineups. Bucky Irving, captain. I don't want, but yeah, and Rashad White's fine for one of the additional cases. And I'm guessing Kareem Hunt. McMillan? Okay, I'll take that. Kind of want it to be a Kareem Hunt one. Kind of think I'm going to force in a Kareem Hunt one just because that's no. What's the percent here? McMillan's whoa. Okay, McMillan is 2/5 the ownership of Kareem Hunt. And he's not 2/5 the game script optimal. So I'm going to stick with him there. And yeah, we'll stick with what this is. And I'm guessing we're jamming the quarterbacks. Yep. Almost every one of the lineups has both quarterbacks. This is FanDuel, guys. Don't get crazy. If you wanted to, you could do what we got. We got 5,000 in the pool. Okay. So we could, how many dupes are we expecting? It says 0. I don't know. I kind of expect that's wrong on FanDuel, but also that means the dupe estimator isn't working. So we're not going to use it as a filter. Oh yeah, and I don't use the extreme. Oh, I did kind of do a little bit of salary restriction. It's not as extreme on FanDuel. I allowed really low end things, but in the end, you don't really sample those. All right, on to basketball. Got about 10, 15 minutes to talk about basketball. I'm going to talk about the DraftKings slate because it's fun and interesting, and there's no basketball tomorrow, so that's why we're going to make this video and then take tomorrow off. Have a nice, fun day. I'm going to take today off first of the day. I mean, except for the gambling part. Ooh, I like this kind of. Okay, so let me tell you the rules. I got a few rules, 7 of them fired up over here. Rules are maximum 2 Houston Stars smash, maximum 2 Brooklyn stars, smash. That's 2 out of 3 of Cam Thomas, Schroeder, and Cam Johnson, in case you're not familiar who the stars on Brooklyn are. And then we've got the blowout fork. So let me double check that I actually did put Pritchard back here. Yeah, it's Brown, Tatum, or Pritchard, and then it's Pritchard or on the other side, Trey, and it's Pritchard or Jalen Johnson. And so that's how you make it so that only Jalen and like Jalen are together, only Jalen and Tatum are together, and you get two, right? You get two from the game, or you get Pritchard and a bunch of value. So that's the way I do blow up groups. Okay, the other rules we got, cancel. Yeah. Something down here. It's 7, so it's got to be something else, right? Is that really? Oh yeah, 2 out of 4 Bulls smash and 2 out of 3 Sacramento stars. Basically, anytime you got a situation where you got like kind of multiple stars and you're not getting to enough of any of them, this is the way that I'm handling it. So and limit it all to like 10x or like 10%, whichever is higher. Probably 5x if you're going to do whichever is higher. Okay, now I like this back weighted. I'm not going to leave Levine at 90% in my actual lineups, but I might leave him at 90% in my builds because this game, this Chicago-Utah game, if it stays like this, and I mean, I'm making this before shoot around now, so we probably just get all the news at shoot around, who cares? But it's a pretty big slate, right? We got like 8 games on it still, so 8 games, 16 teams, 16 times 5, we got that many starters. That's a ton. And we've got even more bench players, even more news to listen to. The biggest news is Levine and Markkanen in this game. So because of the biggest news, I just made them the 10 polls, and I'm going to try to get to a lot of them, and then we'll relax from there. So a ton of Vooch, a ton of Levine, and then I guess I didn't get to enough of the rest of this game. Let me make sure I have something from the later games, so I know my swapability will be fine. Yeah, swapability is fine. Really surprisingly low ownership on Jalen Green. I don't think I'm going to stick at like 50% Jalen Green, but I mean, am I wrong? Is he not playing 38 minutes a game? 34, 36, 38. He's getting a ton of shots. He played 34 minutes in the last game, shot 2 for 13. He's going to play a ton of minutes and get up like 20 shots. I don't understand it. I don't understand. What are we projecting for? I mean, they just can't be projecting him for enough points here. So anyway, I just have fundamental problems with how people are projecting Jalen Green. Now, granted, he's a shooter, so he's probably limited like 15% still, just because I know he might not hit his shots. But part of what we're doing here is leaving a lot of people in these late games, right? So we don't want to mess that up too much. So with Levine, he's not core, but having someone in this game for the late news is core right now. Does that make sense? Like I haven't done that before, but I think that's true because they've chopped the slate up so people think that there's not very many late games, but this is an hour and 45 minutes after the first lock. We have a ton of late swaps that you can do, and you need to do all of them based on the Monty Hall problem, right? Every time they open a door, you rerun and not right away. Wait until 10 minutes until the next swap, till the next game starts, chug it. Refresh all your live sims, your live contest ownerships, and so you got all the new ownerships, your live estimates, projections, so you know which lineups need the crazy guy versus which lineups can take chalk, and just you need to cover the most cases, so you plug chalk in because you're already winning. So that's what you need to be doing every 15 minutes because it's too hard to do that with 46 lineups or whatever I'm doing this with. And yeah, now I like this. We've got Brunson, we've got Jalen Green, Jabari, Van Vliet, a trailing bunch of dudes in these last games. So we'll be able to swap around. I mean, really, we'll probably get the news right 5:30. So we should have the news here by the Sacramento Miami game. Who's Sacramento guys enough? Yes. Not getting to almost any Josh Hart is a bit worrisome. He's playing like every minute and getting a ton of peripheral stats, but I mean, I'm trying to win. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to get floor. And he has a great floor and an ceiling, right? So that's why I'm always just kind of off Josh Hart. And every time he beats me, I just go, ugh. So probably that's what's going to happen again tonight. All right. So I've made sure that my late loading of games is appropriate. Now, let me tell you about my general. Am I getting to that much Sam Hauser? Yeah, probably. Sam Hauser stats. I don't think there's over projecting him for minutes to say he's going to play like 20 minutes and get a ton of shots up, maybe 24. 20, 18, 14, 24. So, probably a median of what, 19 minutes for Hauser. So let's double check. Median up 23. They got him a little heavy for minutes. So I think that's probably a little heavy. Let's take him down to 18 projected. I still a fine play. I just don't think you're going to get 60% of Sam Hauser. He's just an okay play. Really, if he's 30%, I'm going to be taking the under. Probably have to rebuild because of that. I'm guessing he was like in, yeah, 60% of the pool. No way I'm going to be able to make this condition. Okay, I didn't enforce a rule. Kornet and yeah, make sure you don't play. We have in the past had a rule with Boston centers, right? With Kornet and Horford. When Horford was starting and Kornet was playing the backup, that's not what they're doing. Horford started alongside Kornet. They're playing a ton of minutes together alongside each other with this current arrangement of dudes. So, assuming that is the case again, don't don't have the fork on. The fork is not appropriate. You need to play more Kornet. You need to play more Cub Carrington. He is going to be out there a lot. I mean, a lot. Not 30 minutes. Not correct. He's going to be out there more like 40 minutes. And when he's out there like 40 minutes, he's really 25% owned. Oh, great. We'll take that. Um, Tatum, don't need to tell you. Yeah, the top plays of the slate, I never really dwell on them because you guys know them, right? I mean, you're familiar with Giannis. Are you familiar with Jason Tatum? You know these guys. Now, the problem with Giannis is his team sucks. I mean, like, they might get blown out tonight. Like, it's conceivable if you want to X off that game because they're really bad and they might get blown out like every night for a while. So I don't know. You can, let me see. Yeah, I said that and I really do feel kind of worried about, yeah, that's just a smidge of Giannis from that game is appropriate, and I don't really want anything else. Same thing with like Golden State. Yeah, I have unclicked everybody from Golden State, from Washington. Yeah, that's it. Like if they keep it close, who cares for Golden State? Then nobody's good. Steph won't be extended because it's his first game back from injury. Whereas if they keep it close from Washington, a lot of guys smash. You know what I mean? And really, well, that's only a 15% chance, right? 20, 25% chance, whatever I've limited it to. But it's the guys who are getting extended randomly every single game for Washington. Kispert, if he hits his shots, can hit a massive ceiling with this team. Kyshawn George, Cub Carrington, they're getting a ton of time out there. So those guys are fine to be mega core pieces or whatever for tonight. 45, 50% plus. Let's just rebuild it so that I don't have to do this later. Keep going through the games. Brooklyn and Memphis. I love this game and I love it more than anybody else. The reason I love it is like, let's look at Morant stats. So he's ticking up 31, and I think that game was a blowout. Like, let's look at it. Popcorn machine for uh who is John Morant, so Memphis, Philadelphia. Is that it? We're not running back that exact game, are we? No. But we lost a few minutes here in the end to the blowout. For Ja, ooh, yeah, that second half minutes not as good as first half minutes. Was there fouls? Hmm, no, there wasn't fouls. So only 31 minutes, even without the blowout. So in the blowout, hey bud, no right now. I love you. Yes, you've had a good job with your yes. Can you ask mommy to do that? Okay. So we're gonna put I do like Ja for like 35 to 38 minutes in competitive game because this game wasn't really competitive, right? Yeah, they were up by like 7 or 8. And so let's go. No Ja. Oh no, no, no. I'm minimum 5% Ja today. I feel very strongly that this game could be a good one to target. And that Ja's minutes are not being projected correctly. So 31 is correct based on the past, but he was on a limit that like the coach talked about. You know, he said the first 6 games we're going to limit Ja. And then you saw like I guess I was thinking about the game before last was when I started seeing really, really good minutes for Ja. And then it blew out. Yeah, this is the game. So Memphis, Milwaukee in the first half. Ja was going really hard, and his second half minutes were not a weird stint. So in the first half, 8, 16. Oh, that's a 9 minute stint. So 9 plus 8 is 17. So he's on pace for 34 from the first half there. And it's a 30-point game, 20-point game, and he still gets 29 and pulled for the last 4 minutes. So he's on still on pace for 34 minutes, even in this mega blowout. I think it's reasonable he gets extended to 36 in a close one because he's been resting and resting and resting on purpose, which was smart, so that now he can play. It's not, that's the thing. It wasn't like it was we're playing 6 games in 9 days, was what Taylor Jenkins was quoted about saying. And he hadn't said anything else after that. And like, what's Triple J? Triple J stats. Didn't he play more minutes too? Yeah, 31 now, right? When these guys' minutes start ticking up, you better be leading that. You better not figure out afterwards. So we are jamming. We are getting to some jaw. We are getting to some triple J. And on the other side of this game, we are also on the other side of this game. Also, the minutes for Jalen Wells, slightly under projected. He's been playing 36 pretty consistently. So I gave him a few extra minutes. It's still not like a smash play. So you get to a little bit. Okay. Yeah, but I haven't run the contest sims now that I was like, these don't really seem very smart ownership wise. So they weren't. Let's just double check. And I do have like 5 minutes left. So probably start petering out pretty soon. I guess I should do my leverage plays. That's typically where I go next with who's my biggest negative leverage plays. Sam Hauser, I think he's over projected and is not, he's getting squeezed on both ends. He's not playing in the blowout and he's not playing with the main unit that much at a high rate. Derek White, I'm a little bit less, like I want 5%. He's a shooter. He could kill me. He's I thought he was lower cost than that. I don't have to jam. I do want at least 5%. He could really kill me. Yep, no clowning. That's on purpose. I have him unclicked. LeBron, also think he's being overrated right now. I don't really want to be zero on Austin Reeves. Hey, how about this? We check the negative leverage plays and I'm actually changing them a little bit. But yeah, LeBron, Tobias, Bilal's not really someone I want to be zero on either. He just can. I guess he's more of a FanDuel play than he is on DraftKings, right? Because his stock upside is kind of where it's at. 35 minutes. Can I give him anything? Bilal, cool balling stats. Can't really give him more minutes. That's really appropriate already. Eh. We have to stick on this fade. Spider fade, just a spot. Giannis fade, just a spot. I don't think that game stays close, so neither one of them will get to play. Tyler Hero, fine. I can increase the fade on Tyler Hero if you want. Josh Giddey, we'll see if anything happens, but generally speaking, yeah, I like where these exposures are at. These fades. What's our highest leverage plays? Our biggest plays of the slate? Yeah, so we're jamming any questionable person going into lock. We're jamming them, and then we're gonna relax that. So the way you do it, right? You don't leave these projections the way they are, or else when D'Angelo Russell's out and you have him for 30 or something, you are screwed, right? So you must relax your projections appropriately each window, right? You must redo them, not just whatever SaberSim says the projection is. You have to think what happened and what did that change? Like yesterday, there was a weird starter for somebody went a little bit more small ball than usual. And as a result, everybody boosted that one guy, but they didn't boost the guys off the bench who got the boost from there being more small ball, right? So you have to do that. SaberSim's not going to be able to do that. They're not going to on the fly be able to appropriately allocate all of the minutes. You have to think it through. But yeah, I like all these guys at the top. And for reasons I think I've talked about pretty much. Oh yeah, Detroit is just being a little underprojected because they haven't been any close games. I think they can keep it close. So I guess for me, this slate is about two games with a 7 point line and where I put them, right? Because everybody knows Golden State's going to blow out Washington. Everybody knows what Boston's going to blow out Atlanta. But this Milwaukee, Cleveland, and LA, Detroit game are ones where you kind of have to take a stand. Because if it stays close, you need pieces. And if it doesn't stay close, you need to not have any pieces. So I think the Detroit game stays close, and I think the other game blows out. And that's all I got. Oh yeah, I guess Utah, Chicago is another one that's like that with the line. But the pieces are all interesting on their own, and the value will be there regardless of whether or not it blows out. So a little different situation where you probably want a little bit more exposure to that game regardless. Any other like huge? No, they're like a 5 point game here in Memphis. That should be tighter. I think. I think that's I think if you wanted to, you could boost Brooklyn to 115 and Memphis to 115 and go from there. I think it's a pick 'em, and they should both score up and maybe a little more points, maybe 117. All right, that's gonna do it for today. Remember, you're good enough, you're strong enough, and gosh darn it, someone's got to win that money. Might as well be us.